man, it kind of feels like you're using a lot of these talking points that you're getting from a nefarious community. And Ethan kept saying he didn't know who the fuck Destiny was. He had no connection to Destiny at all. And what's wild to me is that he only acknowledged how much he loves Destiny after it came out that he was
innocent. Oh, poor Ubu Destiny, the mid-30s dude trying to pick up an innocent 18-year-old and have a consensual relationship, and it turned out to be a disaster. How could this have happened? It's like, is he going to debate a judge? Is he honestly going to be there and be like, haha, I will best you in the marketplace of ideas. Let's see you ground your axioms on how old the minor was in my mind.
aka Destiny's previous supporters and collaborators, just reported to the police for allegedly keeping CSAM on his computer and admitting to it.
It's because he continued to write. I didn't know this until way later, but the videos she recorded with other guys, the file names are like screen recording, blah, blah, blah. And then he shows me a screenshot of the top of a video clip and says her boyfriend was recording these on Skype calls. That's absolutely insane to think about him doing all of this if she was 17. Well, this is insane to me because he's saying Rose's boyfriend recorded CP while sending me a screenshot of the alleged CP. So I asked.
So just for a little quick background, Willie Mac Show, also known as Willie Sloptube, is one of the drama YouTubers who has previously been I would say, pretty strong supporter of Destiny, been one of the people who obviously, I would say, when Destiny was accused by multiple women of recording them without their consent and then sharing that material with third parties, again, without their consent, was one of the people who was involved in being like, is it as bad as everyone thinks? I'm going to make a big video on this. And now at this point, he has come forward after, this is after, not prior, but after it had been revealed that one of the people who Destiny had been sexting and allegedly sharing non-consensual material with was underage. Suddenly now it's like, okay, well, I got to release a video. I'm reporting him to the police. Here's the reasons.
To confirm if he just did that. If you were sending me this, I'm guessing you still have that video. Destiny replies, depends on why you're asking. But yes, I created copies of all of our messages and everything when that court case started. Just to be clear, he's admitting to having alleged CP.
Why does this dude think that this is like a good defense? I mean, I don't think that Willie Slop Show actually gives a fuck about anything. I'll be honest with you. I think he's a mercenary, and I think he's just reading the room and realizing that this is a sinking ship that he must jump, because he was like actively defending and sweeping for him for Destiny for quite a while. He has utilized Destiny's community to make multiple fairly successful videos on people like myself and many other.
Ooh, that is a lot of content. It's really paying the bills.
Enemies of Destiny. He is definitely a fixture of that slop tuber community that we talk about. Like, these guys literally looked at Israel's genocide of the Palestinian population and thought, this is a great opportunity for us to farm some drama clicks. And unfortunately, there are a lot of not very intelligent people who have taken their note from this, because they're just like kind of watching something that's easily digestible, and they go, oh, this is a bad person, we shouldn't listen to him. And now he is jumping ship. So it seems like the walls are closing in.
Case started. Just to be clear, he's admitting to having alleged CP downloaded on his computer. He literally has the video open as I'm talking to him. I go, bruh, there's been allegations at least since my last video that she was underage, and you still have potential CP of her? He replies, I have an obligation to preserve relevant evidence, etc. So I created backups of all of the important / relevant conversations. He continues, I don't think I'm allowed to delete it, lol. I don't know if it counts as hiding / destroying evidence. And I reply, talk to a lawyer, that seems crazy to me. Who keeps this sort of stuff on their computer without 100% knowing if they're supposed to or not? Isn't that something you want to confirm? I continued, you just let me know you have CP videos saved to your computer. You knew it was alleged that she was underage. You still have them. Do you see how this is? So now I've confirmed that this guy has child on his computer. In my 8 years of reaching out to people over allegations, I've never had anyone admit that to me. The last message he sent me was, 1, I don't even know 100% if her age was legitimately less than 18 when these were taken. So basically, he's not 100% sure if he has child on his computer. He's just 99% sure. Got it. 2, I'm pretty sure I have an obligation to preserve stuff related to my court case. I've talked about it with my lawyer already, specifically with regards to the Rose stuff. So we went from, I don't know if I could delete this, to my lawyer says it's totally fine to keep. I don't know the law, but the idea that his lawyer would tell him to hold on to CP for a civil case just doesn't seem likely to me. I don't know. LawTube can figure that out. 3, if something were to come out of this, I don't know if I'd want to wipe everything and not have something to turn over to the authorities. If hypothetically, whenever a political creator is about to give a hypothetical, you know you're about to hear some weird shit. If hypothetically her boyfriend or whatever was actually trafficking her or getting her to f other dudes on video for him, and if there was ever some kind of investigation into that, am I hurting the chance of looking into him by deleting all of this stuff? Oh, so now the reason he's keeping the CP.
Yeah, no, there's a justifiable reason for it. He actually has the utmost highest morals at all times. Wow, from the guy who has actively debated the ethics of ethical CP, ethical CSAM.
Hold on, boys. It's time for some underage sex debates.
All right, who wants to f kids in here? What's going on?
Well, okay. I'm not actually.
Comes an opportunity for him to have that in his hard drive. Interesting. Out that person was 17 was because he flexed on the haters to reveal information about this person, seemingly, so that he goaded people into figuring out who this person was, to identify.
That'll be like the final boss of debate perverts, debating the judge. Yeah. That'll be great to see. I mean, hey, you've had a lot of debates. You've had a lot of opponents, you know? You've won some, you lost some, but here it is. The fight of your life. Debate the fucking judge. Yeah, own him in the marketplace of ideas. We'll see how that goes.
Who this person was. And then they did. And now that they did, now he's cooked. Just yesterday, he lied by claiming there was nothing to give to the police. In yet another shocking case of self-sabotage, the Omni liberal claimed yesterday he had no evidence to give to the police regarding Rose. Today, Willie Mack Show posted a video explicitly detailing evidence that Destiny gave him, including file names purported CSAM sent by Rose. Destiny goes on to confess that he has made copies of not just his friend's messages, but with Rose and all attachments. Would he be incapable of going to the police with these files? If you send me this, I'm guessing you still have that video, he says.
And by the way, when it comes to, like, you know, previous supporters, now, obviously, I'm sure within his own community, he's saying things like they're throwing him under the bus or something like that. Whereas I think, you know, Willie Mack Show is essentially just trying to, like, distance himself as much as he can from, again, this goes beyond drama. These are, like, crimes, right? And so it's one of the reasons why I think certain people like Willie Mack Show are now being like, okay, hey, by the way, I've reported him to the police. This is fucked. No longer is this just about, you know, Hassan versus Destiny style drama slop tube. I reported Destiny to the police after he admitted in DMs with me that he is still holding on to sexually explicit videos of an alleged minor. I've never been in this situation. I cannot keep it private when someone admits this sort of thing to me. And then Destiny supporter Drew Pavlu, and also a fucking ardent fucking, you know, racist who consistently dehumanizes and vilifies Palestinians, but here he is. For God's sake, why couldn't Destiny just not be like this? Bruh, I made all these pro-Destiny videos with my face in them. Drew has fallen. I repeat, Drew has fallen. Another one bites the dust. So who's left at this point? Like, is Lonerbox still supporting Destiny? Is Hutch? I know it's been total radio silence from Dan Saltman, who probably at this point is trying to figure out via, I'm assuming, communication with his lawyer, how culpable he may be in this entire fucking ordeal.
He says he's not sure if she was under 18 when the video was taken. The video title just commented on a date that is obviously before is claimed to be her 18th birthday. As if this couldn't get any more bizarre, Destiny goes on to tell Willie that the reason he is preserving this evidence is to help a potential investigation. The exact thing he told Eli B again, he wasn't able to do. Incredible stuff, Steven. Bro, at its most, like, there is also, like, obviously a permanent victimhood narrative here at the heart of everything. It's like he distributes revenge porn that he has filmed, both consensually and unconsensually, of other people to a random person on Discord in an effort to, like, that person because he wants to fuck that person. Turns out the person is also 17, which is, you know, extra insane and criminal. But even in that process, like, he's been able to try and present himself as the real victim here. Is like, oh, well, my got leaked too. It's like, bro, why were you sending it out? The do you mean? Why were you distributing it? Why were you filming it without the consent of both parties? Why were you distributing it without the consent of all parties involved?
Because he's a sex
This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But clearly, even though plenty of people initially were like, oh man, I'm actually very upset about this, they still turned around and eventually found that there was a good reason to protect Destiny here, to defend Destiny here, because he's like, his enemies are so much worse than him. Me, ironically enough, that's what they literally think. That I'm like arbiters, that maybe everything he was saying was a fucking lie from the start. If he always operated this way and you found him to be a charismatic figure, perhaps you were deluded into shaping your worldview around the personal vendettas of a maniac. And
Well, yeah, also, if you watch this guy, like, historically, right, so he was a world StarCraft 2 professional player and, starts, a lot of people have said, pioneering the idea of, talking about politics on the Twitch platform and, gets a lot of very high-profile debates, some of them with right-wingers, some of them with people that people had no idea actually were right-wingers, like JonTron, for example, and stuff like that. For a long time, the character of Destiny wouldn't have been seen as this, like, associated with the Democratic Party, associated with a larger political project or stuff like that. It was a dude's ego, right? It was a guy who loved to battle people online in competitive video games, or just battle people online in the marketplace of ideas by seeing who could talk the fastest and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, if you get pulled into that for a long time, your defense, if things of this nature had been coming out, where it was like, hey, by the way, Destiny is alleged to have committed sex crimes, Destiny is alleged to have abused a child, Destiny is alleged to have filmed women without their consent, Destiny is alleged to have shared non-consensual sexual material with third parties, then it would have been like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that guy's he's a monster. But now there's a large percentage of his followers who also associate this entire thing with a broader political project. So a lot of them are kind of responding to this in a way, and that's like, oh, why does he have to be like this? You know, he's such an effective weapon for the liberal movement, and now he's also apparently just giving in to his vices, or however they want to frame it. Like, if he doesn't pull it up, we'll read it later. The response that Ethan Klein gives to, like, Destiny via his Instagram is so different than the one that he has been giving to everybody that he has been targeting, including the women who he's actively suing right now. Like, he has kinder words to say about Destiny, the person who is, again, an alleged sex criminal who has committed horrifying acts. To him, it's like, you're a really smart and nice guy, Steven. You were a pioneer in the industry. You opened the door for so many of us. You're the one that inspired me to get into all this kind of stuff. But unfortunately, you have given into your vices, and that's sad to see. No one should have to feel afraid for their 15-year-olds around you. No one should have to feel afraid if you were going to be a predator to their children. I hope you can find the help you need. It's just like, what? How do you have more aggressive words for Frogan, for Denims, for Caseytron? Like, how are you attacking these women constantly as being, advocates of terrorism, terrorist supporters, wanting to see the massacre, anti-Semites, racists? Like, you have no problem just, like, going as hard as you can, again, and even taking it to the level of being litigious against those people, where you're actively suing them, trying to silence them, trying to bankrupt them. But with Destiny, suddenly it's like, I hope you find the help you need. I hope, whatever it takes, you're going to get some help in this respect.
I know that cult deprogramming takes a lot of effort, but considering
because Destiny has dirt on Ethan, what can he have about Ethan that isn't already out there, that, like, fucking Bad Empanada isn't putting on blast 24/7, between the eating poo sketches, the sexualizing a victim of terrorism who was a minor, by the way, like, that video is fucking horrifying, like, the amount of shit that's out there, the N-word compilations, the racism, the blackface, the endless shit that Ethan Klein already has out there.
that this is just like someone you have
lots of DMs, I'll bet. Jesus. Those got to be some pretty fucking bad DMs.
Oh, interesting. Someone who you don't know at all. When you find out that they're like a freak, this is a good point of severance. The easiest exit ramp of all time to be like, yeah, this is my break off point. Perhaps the things that he was saying and doing all along might have been to serve his own personal agendas, to serve his own personal vengeance mission. His subreddit is deleting posts about it. His cult will never snap out of this. I don't think there is. I think this has entered a different stage now, especially considering that some of his most like loyal community members and orbiters, a self-described term, by the way, are actively jumping ship and his community is marginal. It's ultimately very loyal, but it's tiny. And it only works when there are other seemingly objective, other external forces that he can deploy. Like Willie Slopshow is a great example of this. This guy used to be another one of his orbiters. He jumped ship when the revenge porn stuff came out. Many other examples as well. Very clearly, it's now come to that point. So
yeah, I mean, I hope also that like a lot of the people who are still left, who are unwilling to realize how revolting or disgusting all this shit is, and frankly criminal. Like, you have to also be aware that you could be becoming incriminated through your relationship with him. If he is sending you pictures and being like, by the way, this is just evidence of blah, 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 and those pictures happen to be CSAM, that they are child sexual abuse material, all of a sudden, then like, yeah, I mean, at that point you get a person like, you know, Willie Mack, who was, again, a previous person who probably would have made multiple videos on like, is what Destiny did so bad? We have to really look at all the evidence here, and kind of like, you know, and now it's just kind of like, you know what, fuck it, I'm bailing, I'm jumping ship, this shit is fucked. It also goes to show you that like a lot of this serves what is, I think, ultimately the greater purpose of the Destiny project, which is that like the whole thing is his own fucking ego, right? The whole thing is his own empire. That's always been it. He can talk constantly about how, oh, we're doing so much good. Look, like DGG is going to organize, we're going to canvas, we're going to knock on doors, or DGG is going to do this. I'm going to actively try and get more involved in politics and try to get more liberals elected. And I'm part about just like furthering liberalism. As long as you vote Democratic, you are part of the broader political project. That's running a lot of cover for a guy who's actively using his position as a famous streamer to be a predator, to prey upon both fans of his and also underage women. Even if he's using the defense now where it's like, but I didn't know that she was underage. Like, I asked her if she was 18, I didn't get ID, but at the end of the day, I was hoping that she was 18. So you know, I mean, this is really on her for lying to me. I was deceived. And it's like, what the... Even in the best case, most generous, good faith response to that, what the fuck is a mid-30s dude looking to hook up with 18-year-olds on the internet? What the fuck is wrong with all of you? Why are we having this conversation? This shit is criminal at best and like gross. It's fucking gross. They're like, he is a predator. This is preying upon the people who may be, vulnerable, and it's an extreme position of power to be like, oh, wow, you know, you happen to be my fans, or you happen to be people who like me, or you happen to be people who are sliding into my DMs and you want to meet up. That part is fucked. So I'm going to play the video about Destiny and Ethan Klein in a second, because over the weekend, Destiny obviously went extremely hard on Ethan. And this goes to the bigger point I was talking about, where there is no like actual morals consistently or beliefs. Look at what his new avatar is. So Ethan Klein releases a video in which the original title, he's changed it, right? But the original video was, he's a pedo, you know, then now it's changed to he's gone too far, but actively calls out Destiny and calls out all of the things that he's accused for, and goes, you know, pretty thoroughly into talking about everything. Now it's jail. No, this is it. He's 100% done. Jail. I guess I'll play it 2 seconds.
Welcome, guys. Today I bring you a breaking story that was brought to us from friend of the show, Willie Mack. He broke a story here. He was talking to Destiny, who's being alleged of sexting with a 17-year-old, including...
Keep in mind, by the way, just so we're clear, the sponsor, Redact.dev, is the company owned by Dan Saltman, Destiny's co-host, right behind you. So, like, there are layers within layers here, and Destiny obviously reveals some of them that people didn't know, actively how much maybe Dan Saltman, aka Destiny, and his community were collaborating with Ethan Klein on his consistent war, but... yeah, Willie Mack, who's now jumping ship, who's like, I'm calling the police. This is, things have gone way too far, right? So he plays clips from Willie Mack's show, talks about it, puts the fucked up leaked DMs up on the screen, you know, including things talking about his foot fetish and talking about how he wants to meet up with her. Rose, I'm probably getting my braces off in a couple weeks. Aw, exciting. Are you looking forward to it? There's another one that's like fucking just equally as gross, where the person who is alleged to be 17 is like, yeah, I don't know if I can meet up because, you know, my parents wouldn't like it or something like that. It's like, even if she was legally 18 years old, it should be a monstrously huge red flag if someone you were talking to is like, I don't know if I can get my parents' permission to do a blank. Like, what the fuck? You are you're a grown-ass adult in your mid-30s. You have a child yourself.
Tetherball is fun.
We should get a tetherball. This is where we've gone off the track here. Basically, I just wanted to report on this. I want to give a shout out to Willie Mack, who did this.
Isn't being punitive a right-wing thing? Can't we change his mind and get him therapy? So for restorative justice, I assume that's what you're trying to reference, that, or that's like a bait message, because it's the first time you've ever dropped anything in my chat. He has to admit what he's done is wrong. What he's trying to do now is play the victim card. He's trying to both say, well, I mean, you know, sexual material of me was shared without my consent on these forums online, so that's fucked up. Also, I didn't know that she was 17. I thought she was 18 because she told me that she was 18. So technically, she told me that she was legal. So I'm, again, also the victim here. That's not in any way, shape, or form admitting to what you were doing is fucked up, which is grooming and being a predator online for underage either fans or people who are in your community, or people just in general who may know who you are or know of you. So after obviously Ethan Klein reveals all that kind of shit, Destiny goes very nuclear on him. Almost everything in the DM is wrong. Willie Mack is running cover because he wants to get in with the boys again. Calling 911. Sorry, let me call back. My OBS wasn't recording, lol. And Ethan is trying to distance himself from me because he's too weak to deal with Hassan's attacks against him, using me as a vector since he has literally nothing of substance to contribute in this arena. Hassan's lack of intelligence in this is the biggest insecurity that no amount of finasteride, hair dye, or bathtub photo shoots will compensate for. I have no CSAM on my computer. I've only compiled that my legal obligations for my court cases. The 60 gigabyte screenshot was related to a claim that Rose person made, someone whose name and birth date have yet to even be reliably confirmed. Ethan is literally reading off revenge porn leaks of mine and giggling, coughing because he's too lazy to use his inhaler, like an R-slur child for DMs that have absolutely nothing to do with the Rose leak. Any reference to rape or orgies or anything else was literally in the context of DMs with a 26-year-old British woman. I've never DM'd that Rose person on Instagram in my life. I think Peterson was right. You, Zionist and genocide supporter in the United States with loyalty to Israel first, and Hila, genocidal IDF maniac knight, raiding innocent Palestinians in the West Bank because she wasn't seen enough bloodshed at her desk job, writing pardons for IDF rapists, deserve all the CPS calls for the dog shit eating claims and everything else. You deserve zero sympathy from anyone else on the internet when you're so quick to turn around and rely on the same snark shit that's been plaguing you for years as soon as you think it's beneficial. I hope your prior maid takes you for a milli in her lawsuit against you guys as well. Bye. For anyone else watching, you should assume that every single influencer person you meet on the internet is a terrible human being with zero values or principles. See you tomorrow for stream. Love. And yeah, this goes to show you that all the shit that numerous content creators and streamers on Twitch were consistently being accused of or vilified over, or in some cases even potentially having litigation, charged against them. Things like, hey, by the way, you shouldn't make light of the whole CPS thing. It was really fucked up. I know a lot of you lefties are really mad at Ethan Klein because he's going after your daddy Hassan, but you really shouldn't mock the CPS stuff. Hey, it's kind of outrageous for some of you lefties to bring up the fact that Hila actually served in the IDF and you're calling her a terrorist because of it, or something related to that effect. That's really fucked up. You shouldn't do that. At the end of the day, everyone has to have mandatory service. If you are in Israel, she was just doing her part. She apparently just worked at a boring desk job, even though she did explain in a video how she actually wanted to be transferred because she was bored and did end up going on a raid in Ramallah. But I mean, that notwithstanding, how dare you? Do you not know what it's like all the shit that we were constantly being told over and over that were being done by people who were defenders of Destiny, or people who were defenders of Israel, or people who were defenders of both of them. They were constantly pushing these notes. The second all of a sudden it's Ethan Klein versus Destiny, flip, look at this. Like it's this goddamn avatar, because he's doing everything that he knows is possibly going to piss off Ethan as much as possible, because his guiding principle is spite. That's it. That's the political project here. That it's Destiny's ego and spiting his enemies. It's not I care, actually, about the geopolitics. This is someone who was saying that he was team genocide. That's an actual quote. Destiny was like, I'm team genocide. Yeah, he has been consistently trying to justify everything that the IDF has been doing, downplaying the severity of it, trying to debate people, including academics, on this topic, to be like, oh, well, what is... He went on a tour. He went to Israel. He was actually saying in a video clip, talking to IDF soldiers, how to get away with war crimes. That same Destiny, who was standing there being like, if you guys are going to do things, you know, like take women's clothing and wear it and blah, 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 just don't take pictures or videos of it, okay? That's pissing everybody the fuck off. Not it's wrong for you after you may have slaughtered a family to go in there and wear the clothes of the mother of the children who you just killed and then make light of that. That's really fucked up to do. Those are war crimes. You shouldn't fucking do that shit. No, instead it's, if you want to do that kind of stuff, all right, you can go ahead, wear all the underwear you want, take all the pictures you want, do all that kind of stuff, but ultimately make sure you don't film it. Dude, don't film it. Make sure you guys don't film it. If you film it, that's the problem, okay? Because it's pissing everybody off. It's bad optics. It's all about the optics, right? The optics are really, really important. So saith this guy. Now it's, hey, by the way, his thing is a Palestinian flag. He says free Palestine, globalize the intifada, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, all there. Because again, what's going to piss off Ethan Klein the most? That's going to be what I do now. That's the angle.
They're old friends of the show fighting one another. It turns out.
By the way, for the weekend events that transpired, I guess if you happen to be someone like, say, Hassanabi or Denims or Frogan or Casey Tron or anyone like Sean the Black, anyone who's actually effectively had to deal with a lot of the stress caused by, say, the constant targeting by either Destiny or by Ethan Klein in the past, what a weekend that was, right? Like, I don't know if any of you have ever played Mario Party, like, you know, the old Nintendo 64 version, but if you've ever played Mario Party before, you know that there's certain games in Mario Party that you can actually win if you're playing against other people who don't play the game a lot by doing nothing. Like, you'll actually have an advantage if you just put the controller down and sit back and watch people rolling on the giant, like, you know, balloons and bumping into each other off the sides, and then everyone just falls off, and they're like, oh, sucks, you guys all lost, right? Like, the definition of do nothing win.
Like she just came off the cover of
Dude, 21 and 16. Were you guys having none
of your business?
What?
Let's fucking go. Did you guys, you know,
Not
feel
till
the deal?
she was 18.
Yeah.
Not until she was 18.
We were in love.
Almost.
Oh, you lie.
That's so crazy. Yeah, you could not do that today. I mean,
no,
that would be just like, whoa there, buddy.
Yeah.
And it's just like a very weird way to argue when you're being called a pedophile. Like, because like Ethan called Destiny a pedophile.
This is the worst version of the Spider-Man meme I've ever seen. Like, it's what's the gotcha here? We're all gross? Or we're like, well, you know, I may be a pedo, but your dad was a pedo, so gotcha. Yeah.
Because he was, you know, in the process of procuring CSAM from a 17-year-old at the time. So he's just taking on the moniker, it seems. I guess this is a method. The method is to try and basically joke about it, you know, make a mockery of like the haha, we're all in on the joke. Actually, like, it's not that serious, when it's like, it is a serious thing. It's a crime. So
I failed to see how it's Ethan's fault that his dad is gross. Yeah, as someone who criticizes Ethan Klein for his, obviously, you know, the downplaying the severity of what Israel is doing, or, you know, trying to do revisionist history of the Nakba or stuff like that, 100%. Like, how is this an equivocation? If you happen to be Stephen Bonnell, and now there's very credible evidence that you have committed crimes, sex crimes, and then you're going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to take you down too. Bet everyone didn't know this fact. Boom. You realize this is worse. You're now both kind of admitting to it and also being like, is it that bad? I mean, who amongst us has not?
I don't know. And then H3 podcast host Ethan Klein praises Destiny in new Instagram story. You are a very smart and funny guy. I've been following your career for a long time. I took that same chance on myself, inspired by you to become a creator. He hopes Destiny finds the help and peace he needs. I could not believe it. For 22 months, Ethan Klein tried to claim that I and my community was doing, you know, CPS calls to his house, sending him skulls. I never for once even said this is a good thing to do to Ethan. I was completely unaware of what was happening in any way, shape, or form regardless. And now...
Well, also, it's the double standard, right? Like, the level of which every single content creator, myself included, has constantly had to disavow the things that, like, came forward, where it's just like, well, do you think it's appropriate that skulls were sent to his house? And I was like, no. I not only am I not involved with that, I'm not endorsing that. I'm not co-signing that. I don't understand where this is all coming from.
You got one of his allies that he has now turned on openly making jokes about it. Me, after smashing the post button on my last IG story, I don't post on Twitter directly because it's too toxic. So I limit myself to 25 stories a day about Twitter posts and then stumbling into some free snacks for my kids. And the dude is like stepping on dog shit. So he's basically saying like he's feeding his kids dog shit. And Ethan replied to this in the most civil way that I have ever that I've ever seen him reply to anyone, which is, Steven, using his government name, you are a very smart and funny guy. I've been following your career for a long time since you were cleaning carpets in between StarCraft 2 games. I saw you transition to streaming full time, which as someone who was also working a 9 to 5, I found really inspiring. It was soon after I took that same chance on myself, inspired in part by you to become a full-time creator. Later on, I came around to your political streaming content, a genre you pioneered. You've had such a long
This tactic doesn't work, by the way. I just, here's an olive branch for you. If you are trying to now stop the amount of like anger and malice that is going to come towards you from that community, there is no, I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to be very friendly, and I'm going to praise you, and I'm going to say, by the way, I've been a large fan for a long time. I think you have been, a seminal part of the online community. I think you are a pioneer in a lot of ways, and honestly, I'm just really sad. I'm going to talk to you like a concerned parent, okay? Just like honestly, or a concerned friend. How about that? And honestly, it's just really sad to see what's happening. And honestly, I hope you can get some help. I hope you can get out there and you can go get therapy or whatever you need to do to try and stop these vices that seem to have gripped you, that consume you, that are actively, destroying your ability to do the really important work that you would be doing otherwise. The incredible work that you otherwise are known for doing, unfortunately, is being tarnished by all of these, these urges that you have. So I hope you get help. That's only going to make him, and by proxy, his community, angrier and more determined to destroy you.
An accomplished career that anyone would be extremely proud of. I am genuinely sad about the great potential that you had and for what was thrown away because vices took over your life. As a parent, you know the implications and ramification of chatting with a 15-year-old. You know how a teenager looks up to adults they admire and how easily they can be manipulated. The time for irreverent jokes is over. You need help. This is a long pattern of sexual deviancy with teenagers. I hope you take the time to understand what's inside you is missing and why that would urge a grown man to flirt with a 15-year-old. I don't know where the 15-year-old came from, by the way. Is there like a new thing that dropped? I am not taking any pleasure in any of this. It's all very sad. I do hope you find the help and peace you need because children deserve better. Now, what's fucking insane about this is that if you're in this community, you knew this already, right? That Ethan was a fan of Destiny and was getting his notes from Destiny's community. Destiny's community had like infiltrated Ethan's community and became like a useful tool that he used because they love cyber stalking people and have sophisticated smear campaigns that they can apply to whoever Destiny's enemies are. What's so crazy to me is that throughout this last 22 months, I kept saying, hey man, it kind of feels like you're using a lot of these talking points that you're getting from a nefarious community. And Ethan kept saying he didn't know who the fuck Destiny was. He had no connection to Destiny at all. And what's wild to me is that he only acknowledged how much he loves Destiny after it came out that he was trying to procure child sexual abuse material. Like, the timing on this is insane to me. Like, you wanted to literally lie about your affiliations and your knowledge of this person for an entire fucking year, gaslighting me and anyone else in your community, only to just reveal that you actually were a major fan of his. After you called him a pedophile? What is going on? This makes no damn sense. Like, this is crazy.
We'll see.
To be fair.
Yeah, we'll see. So do you want to tell me what is your evidence that I work with or talk to or have any association with at all with Destiny?
What? Destiny? What?
What? What? The guy that I talk about fucking obsessively 100 times a day? That is like basically like the Antichrist, the Lord Voldemort in my community? Yeah, you accuse me of working with him, knowing him, talking to him. What is your evidence for that?
So yeah, I think that is not a ridiculous fucking claim to make at all.
It's actually insane. And it's a really convenient way of discrediting me when I've never spoken to,
I think
worked with, talked about Destiny in my own.
What's so crazy about this is that after this conversation took place, he took one of the last remaining advertisers that the H3 podcast has is Destiny's second in command, like Destiny's podcast co-host. Like, he's been he's been getting all of his notes from Destiny's best friend. His entire community has been infiltrated, and now they're attacking Ethan for once actually calling out Destiny. It's crazy. How do you not see it? You fucked your own life up. You fucked your own career up. You fucked everything up. I don't need to bring
it's
that up.
It's a really nice way of you. You know what? I think you're hallucinating, buddy. I think you are Oh, you pulled a meme from his subreddit once. And no, there was a guy in your Discord that's also in his Discord. I think you're hallucinating.
No, I didn't say any of those things.
You sound fucking unhinged, dude. Are you crashing out, Hassan?
Ethan, I didn't.
Hassan, are you crashing out?
I gave you.
Do you have friends who are aware of the condition and can help you get the help you need?
Okay, Ethan.
You're delusional.
I think it was like, I don't even know when. It was.
The stream went down. Refresh. It's working again. Okay. Got it.
It's after October 7th when Hassan's chat was like spamming insane shit. And I went over it on stream and I think Ethan DM'd me and he asked me, he was like, wait, where did you get the chat message from? And I told him, I think this might be 2 years ago. Yeah, these are so, but I think Ethan is like so desperate to get away from the Destiny controls me narrative that he decides to do his little unhinged bullshit on a stream.
Great. Thinking about this comment just makes me so sad. I had never listened to what Ethan had to say, so thought he might come with some at least half reasonable critique, but it was just a truly crash out and really sad to see. God knows what's going on with that guy. Sorry you've had to deal with friends treating you like this. I mean, it's fine. It is what it is, boys, girls, MBs. The other thing that I was going to say is that, like, not only is it crazy that Ethan chose right now to come.
Destiny fans are literally scouring the internet to do damage control. Yeah, I know. I've seen a couple so far pop up in the chat. First time chatters both times too. But it's interesting because, like, I used to be really good faith with people from, you know, that community when they would drop into chats because they don't seem in the same way that, like, you know, a right winger or someone who's from, say, like the Quarterine or Asmongold's community, a lot of times they can't help themselves. They just, like, they turn on caps lock, they drop into your chat, and then it's just basically like, oh, fucking the Roach King owns you, or it'll just be like MAGA 2024, cocksoy, arsler, and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, and they've just been banned. All right, well, that was fast, right? Whereas just like, there's something to be said about how DGG tries to actually manipulate you. So they'll come in there and then they'll be like, hey, by the way, I'm actually a fan of some of your work, but I think that, like, honestly, it's not a good look to want to live in the shadows of these other bigger streamers. You're better than this. You should really blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, yeah, that's interesting. There's a different play at work here, you know? I will say a higher level of sophistication than simply the caps lock all screams when you jump into it.
Out and be like, actually, I was a major fan of
But hey, to all the hate watchers and all the Destiny fans who are trying to make sure that, like, less people talk about this or bring attention to it, we're not talking about internet drama anymore. These are crimes. They are crimes committed by the person who you might be following or perhaps idolize. Now is your off-ramp. There has never been a better time to be like, okay, you know, you can find me a soy beta cuck. I don't give a fuck. You can find Hassan to be a soy beta cuck. I also don't give a fuck. I don't care about that. There's other people you could be following that are not probably going to get you into a bad or dark place at some point in your life simply because you are doing everything in your power to stand up for your parasocial relationship or your favorite streamer. If you need a debate lord, go follow Sam Cedar. Go watch the Majority Report. Go follow Mehdi Hassan. Go like, you know, watch him in his debates. These are people who are also not accused of being groomers, pedophiles, and sex criminals who could honestly teach everybody a thing or two. So that there are better places to go on the internet. And I understand that I'm definitely going to have to not be a facilitation for that. That's fine, but please go find someone else.
Destiny this whole time after he called him a pedophile. But what's also wild about this long and wordy response to a guy he's calling a pedophile who's attacking him with way more smoke than I ever did, okay, is that he has kinder words for a dude that, by his own admission here, is like trying to fuck 15-year-olds apparently. He has nicer words for that guy than he does for people who have told Ethan, hey man, what you're saying kind of sounds like you're pro-Israel. Maybe you should reconsider saying things like this. That is the point of inception where our communities diverged and all of a sudden Ethan decided, like, I hate Hassan. He is responsible for everything that's ever happened. If you're pro-Palestine and you're a female content creator, he will call you every name under the sun. If you're pro-Palestine and you know, a visible content creator that's like actively being attacked by the Trump administration, stalwart ally of the Palestinians / major liberal Ethan Klein will literally demand that the administration take action against you. He will sue you. He will take action against you. He will call you a terrorist over and over again. He will try to get attention from advocacy groups to try to get you deplatformed. You spend months trying to fucking humiliate these people. Now you got a guy who's actually fucking not holding back. You got a guy who's actually not holding back, and this is what you have to say? Like the way he has talked about Denims, the way he's talked about Frogan, the way he's talked about me, the way he's talked about Ian, iDubbbz, Anissa, versus the way he's talking about Destiny, who is super pro-Israel, and by Ethan's own admission, is a person who wants to fuck 50.
Well, to be fair, not anymore. He's done a complete 180. I don't know if you've seen his new account, right? He's got watermelons in there, Free Palestine. It even has From the River to the Sea, Globalize the Intifada. He's got a Palestinian flag in his avatar. Yep. It's strange, though, how it doesn't seem to be any real morals, principles, or beliefs. And the whole thing is just driven by spite and hatred of the enemies.
18-year-olds, and he's like, I love you. You're the GOAT. You're a huge inspiration. You inspired my career. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I ever even actually attacked you. It just blows my mind. I mean, all that's left in his audience are DG's years. Yeah, I know. And it's clear. It's clear that that is like the last lifeline that he has designed for himself, which is ironic because like it was very obvious. The warning signs were there. He just didn't want to see it because he was getting hug boxed, and they just like literally completely overtook his community. And now you look at his like subreddit, which is where Destiny thrives and his community thrives. They either like directly take over subreddits or they actively work within the confines of existing subreddits to basically use it as like a promotional tool. And now his own community is actively criticizing Ethan. The H3 audience is currently in open war with itself. DGG infiltrators are upset that Ethan Klein stabbed their pedo king in the back, so they've immediately resorted to threatening his children with extreme sexual violence. H3 fans who think snarkers are the height of evil in the world do not have the mental fortitude to handle the unbridled psychopathy of Molestinis Fedeyin, who have been in denial about standing shoulder to shoulder with for the last year. This looks really bad for you, Ethan. The Destiny defense team in the comments is sick. Let's play a game, Ethan. Tell us Rose's birth year, and if you're right, we euthanize Destiny, and if you're wrong, we bust open Theodore. Thoughts? Like, that's a psychotic thing to fucking say. They're talking about his son. They're literally actively presenting a threat of sexual violence to one of Ethan's minor children by name. That is unimaginable freak shit. Like, these people should not be online. These people should not, like, these people should stop doing this shit. The H3 main sub, absolutely lousy with these. Well, shucks, I've heard of this Destiny guy, but he seems innocent. And all the videos I've watched from him are 100% correct. So I really hope Ethan isn't just spreading vicious lies and rumors. And also, what about Hassan Law? Like, his whole community is blasted with people who are like, I don't really know who this Destiny guy is, but he seems awesome and maybe a bit misunderstood. And they're just like duking it out with one another now. The Destiny incident is exactly why live shows are important. I watched the VOD on Destiny today, not knowing anything about the situation prior. After reading the comments, it became clear the story is so full of disinfo coming directly from Snark. It's disappointing to see Ethan engage with another creator's Snark community without any research. It's just funny because like they're doing to him the same shit he's been doing to me. And you check their histories and they're like literally.
But also like this entire fiasco has been a disaster for like, you know, going on months for H3H3. Like, they're just losing 20,000 subs, losing 10,000 subs, losing 20,000 subs, losing 10,000 subs, losing 10,000 subs, losing 10,000 subs, losing 50,000 subs, March 2025, you know, and then 20,000, June 2025. Like, I'd say every single day that you were actively choosing to try and take a position in which you are acknowledging the genocide of Palestinians while at the same time doing revisionist history for events like the Nakba, or saying things like Yoav Gallant was actually a good guy when he was one of the first people, if not the first person, on October 8th or 9th to say that we are fighting human animals, we're cutting off all water, food, fuel, like, you know, actively stating out loud the genocidal intent that they're going to do a forced mass starvation. As things go on and the horrifying atrocities are making themselves more and more clear every day, the never-ending vendetta against Hassan, which I'd say is obviously not just simply because of the stance he takes for the emancipation of Palestinians, but is also just consistently some kind of a we used to be friends, we used to have a show, and now we're enemies, and now you have to be defeated shit. It's having devastating impacts upon you, your community, your previous fan base, base, like the whole thing has been a disaster. And then to choose this, I guess, off ramp, which was that, hey, by the way, I'm going to choose an enemy of my enemy, and maybe we can align. I'll work with Dan Saltman. He can sponsor the show. He's Destiny's co-host. Obviously, the Destiny community is going to be able to provide and facilitate so much information that's anti Hassan. Maybe they can start trying to fill and close that gap. I mean, as soon as you have to actively report on Destiny being a sex criminal, and then immediately it's like, well, now that community is going to go after you, and in ways which you had envisioned Hassan's community does. Like the thing, you know, even for much smaller creators like myself, is that I don't have an active subreddit or active Discord where people are trying to conspire the best ways to take down my enemies, because a lot of what I advocate for is for people to go out and read, increase your knowledge, go learn, go you know, find where the truth lies, go pick up a book on the subject, be kind to one another, shit like that. That doesn't foster a community of people who are just actively like, we are the Serfs army, we will destroy the enemies of the Serfs, anyone who crosses our paths will be obliterated in the marketplace of ideas, get ready. Like, I don't have that, and I don't have that as an active shield. And a lot of other people, even if they happen to have really big channels, if you're a person, say, like iDubbbz, for example, or you're a person like Melon. Melon is a great example, right? Anthony Fantano will frequently get entire communities going after him that are much larger than streamers. We're talking musicians. We're talking fans of Drake, or fans of Ye, people who are just monstrously obsessed fan bases where they see that Drake can do no wrong, and they just fucking want to attack him consistently for actually speaking out against, you know, some of the fucked up shit that guy has done. And then actively you'll see him just get fucking destroyed on social media, or destroyed in YouTube videos, or destroyed in other communities. And he hasn't fostered a community and weaponized a community of people behind him who are actively going to fight back, who are going to be like, well, now the melons are here and they're going to melon ball you, and you're going to see all of these fucking, you know, things come out. So in a lot of ways, you'll just sometimes see, you know, an entire 24-hour cycle of people actively pushing shit on that guy, where I'm just like, that's fucked up. Like, I know that he didn't say that, or I know that this clip is taken out of context, or I know that this, like, you know, never happened, but man, is there ever a lot of people online trying to destroy that man and his career. But if you happen to, again, go against a community that has weaponized that kind of strategy, that has a monstrously huge subreddit or a really big Discord or a really big community that is actively going to target you, well, now this is the problem that Ethan Klein finds himself in, is that because he did that video saying, you know, the thumbnail now says jail before it was like, you know, pedo, that you're actively calling out the, yes, you should report on the sex crimes of this fucking very famous streamer who could be potentially still harming other people within his community, or people who, you know, reach out to him or stuff like that. This guy is a potential danger. He is a potential, you know, this goes beyond just drama. This is something in which, yes, it should be actively condemned universally, regardless of whether your politics lie on the right or the left.
Active members or anonymous accounts that just recently got reactivated. Yeah, they all hate the crew. They want to get the crew fired. It's just the evil cabal of snarkers. Meanwhile, the snarkers were in there all along, it seems. You warned Ethan that this would happen when he started Leftovers 2? Yes. He's so scared of D. It's so obvious. Lamau, he knows D would ruin his life if he was mean to him like he is to you. I'm actually crying how nice he is. This pedo, what a pathetic and scared bitch age 3 is. Please help. Please get help, my dear. You're amazing. This is not you. At least I hope his remaining OG fans can see that he lied from the beginning about knowing anything about D, absolute trash. No, I realize that most of this content creator world revolves around pure parasocial behavior, pure parasocial feelings, and it has nothing to do with like any sort of like coherent, consistent worldview. There are obviously people that are in the margins that when they find out about it, they go, oh, this is weird, this is gross, this is not for me. But most people are not tapped in to every single thing that's going on. Right. So when they do find out about it, they often find out about it through like commentary YouTube, and commentary YouTube channels are, until recently, directly under Destiny's banner of influence. They were actively sweeping for him. They were actively defending him. They were actively going after his enemies with talking points that were established in his community. I'm obviously one of the primary targets. So most people never actually see this kind of thing. Most people don't even see it. Most people are just onlookers that know Ethan is like the Vape Nation guy who yells a lot or something, right? And you can overcome that by just like consistently putting out content in some type of way. And then a lot of people will go, oh, he just seems like kind of pro-Israel and he's become kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with him. And then they just like move on. But the ones that remain that are always coming back and always tuning in and getting their notes from him, they're entirely invested in whatever narrative that Ethan presents. And it's the same for even someone like myself, and it's the same for even someone like Destiny as well. One of my biggest issues, I think, in this otherwise somewhat mean and somewhat toxic space is that if I don't actually agree with someone and I don't agree with their worldview and I don't like, and I see them actively like farming toxicity and hatred, I usually don't warm up to them and suck up to them and try to offer them things so that they'll offer me positive coverage. Like I don't actively try to do a charm offensive amongst people who I think are nefarious, bad faith actors. Obviously, Destiny doesn't give a shit, and neither does Ethan. That's why he went from shitting on Keemstar to becoming Keemstar's #1 fan in only a couple years. And when you behave like that, a lot of these other content creators are totally down to be your loyal soldier. A lot of commentary YouTube is down to do that, as long as you get a crumb of clout, as long as you can give them something, right? And that has been my biggest, I think that's been my biggest failure in terms of like trying to change the trajectory of an endless faucet of like fuck Hassan content, because I just don't like play ball with these guys. I hope that they'll arrive at the correct conclusion or reorient their moral compass without demanding something in return. And some are, especially with this last round of like revenge porn distribution and then the subsequent like pedophilia allegations have actually created a massive civil war within the commentary orbit of Destiny's sphere of influence, where they're now actively going after him. They realize that like this is unsalvageable, so now they're fucking shanking him. And ironically enough, Ethan is one of those guys as well. I mean, there's multiple active legal cases and a long drawn out court battle that he's going to go.
The pedo defenders have been out trying to muddy the waters about Rose's age, but the Florida statute is clear. A person's ignorance of a minor's age, a minor's misrepresentation of his or her age, or a bona fide belief of a minor's age or a minor's consent may not be raised as a defense. I'm just like, I'm astounded that that's even being used as a line of argumentation by anybody. Like, I hope to fuck that there is not mainstream Destiny orbiters / defenders who are making videos where they are pulling that kind of stuff up, being like, oh, but he didn't know. He's innocent. Oh, poor Ubu Destiny, the mid-30s dude trying to pick up an innocent 18-year-old and have a consensual relationship, and it turned out to be a disaster. How could this have happened? It's like, is he going to debate a judge? Is he honestly going to be there and be like, haha, I will best you in the marketplace of ideas. Let's see you ground your axioms on how old the minor was in my mind. And it's like, yeah, good luck. Good luck. Great luck. That's one of many fucking now sex crimes that this dude has been fucking accused of. It's also supremely fucked that anyone was still following him or in his camp or defending this guy after multiple women came forward to say that he was recording them without their consent. That should have been the end of it. That should have been where most people, again, anyone with morality would have been like, that's fucked up. That's really fucked up that he did that. It's more fucked up. He not only did that, he shared that material with third parties. Oh, wow, that's extremely fucked up. I know, these are sex crimes. It's fucked up. That's very, very fucked up. All right, fine. I mean, I love his debates. I love his debate style. I love his fucking super edgy racist slurs that he gets to drop. Like, oh my God, it's so cool how he drops slurs. I can't believe it. But at this point, yeah, I gotta agree with you. Things have gone too far. I didn't know that. Yeah, it's out of control. But for a certain percentage of people, that was fine. And now it's like one of the people that he was not only sexting, trying to do fucking age play with, turns out to be a minor, and one of the people he was also alleged to have been sending that non-consensual material to, and was receiving CSAM from. Again, this is now pedophilia, sex crimes upon sex crimes upon sex crimes. Like, how much do you need before you get to a point of clarity and be like, you're right. That is fucked. What does he have to offer you anymore? Even if you're like, well, he can occasionally be funny. It's like, okay, well, there's other people on the internet who can do that. There's other people on the internet who use slurs. There's other people on the internet who are white people who still want to use the N-word. I mean, you can go find that, and ideally, they're not also pedophiles. Like, that's the other fucked up thing here, right? Do you need a debate lord? There are other debate lords. There are other people. I've always argued that I think Sam Cedar is a much better debater than Destiny across the board. I mean, you know, also, he's not trying to target minors. Huge plus. Big win there. You can definitely get a fucking moment in your life where you're like, holy shit, yeah. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have a massive amount of sex crimes accused of him. Doesn't have a massive amount of women who have come forward saying that he was filming them without their consent. Doesn't have a whole bunch of women who came forward who said he was sharing the recordings with third parties. One of those third parties turned out to be a teenager. Win-win. There you go.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This video wouldn't be at all possible without the financial support of all the people whose names you see on the screen right now. And if you want to unlock secret bonus episodes, content that we can't post anywhere else, or get the videos early before anyone else gets to see them, please go on to patreon.com/theserfs. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. Our executive producers are Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Garrett Sandoval, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Boehm, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Tigwig, Trav, and Words Greenwood. And also, it wouldn't be possible without all the names you see on the screen right now. Again, if you want to help produce this content, it's only made possible through the